Hey, Twilight. Hi. What is it? Meow. Sorry, Fen. Hang on. Watch me, don't touch me, shouldn't do it, action day. Watch me, don't touch me, love me, don't hurt me. Watch me, don't touch me, shouldn't do it, action day. Hi, Twilight. Well, congrats on being first, Fen. Sorry my bot didn't acknowledge that. Hey, Sol, how you doing? Oh my god, it's been so long. Also, Dalek, are you already in chat? If so, I just realized I definitely should have asked you this, like, in text instead of just starting the stream and then asking you now, but it's too late. Would you want a VC with me, or do you just want to, like, deal with chat delay? I'm cool with both. I'm comfy with both. Yeah, so for people who aren't in my VTuber child, Sightringa's Discord server, I got chatting with Dalek, about, like, hi Nafumi! I got chatting with somebody about, like, quote-unquote, like, art basics and stuff like that, and then it was like, I was planning on streaming art sometime today anyway. Would you want me to, like, teach you how to draw a cube or something? Hello, Dalek! Okay, I don't know if you missed it, but would you want to hop in a VC for this, or do you just want to deal with chat delay? I'm cool with both. After that, are you currently sticking with, like, basic shapes, or did you maybe want to try to work together on, like, copying an image? Because there's a lot that you can learn from picking, like, a random screenshot from an anime, and then just, like, attempting to one-to-one copy that. I do that all the time. Not as often as I should. But I enjoy doing it. Overchat will be better. Slay. Yeah. Oh my god, my hair! My cat's yelling at me. How are you doing? I'm doing well, Nofumi. These little chibis are coming along. Oh my god, move. These chibis are coming along nicely. Still gotta do flat colors on 3 of them and do shading for Willow's character, but yeah, they're looking real cute. Yeah. That's kind of it. But yeah. And also, I mean, like, obviously I started this because I knew Dalek had some questions, but if anyone else has any, like, random art questions, feel free to ask. You know? Like, I don't know. How does color work? I'm just drawing some random stuff, not anything specific. Yeah. Because you mentioned that you did that thing for, like, drawing, oops. For, what is happening? For drawing, like, a cube, right? Because we could get into how drawing a cube can help you draw some other things. We could get into, how to shade just the one cube in different ways. You know, like what if the light source is coming from here versus below it, that kind of shit. You know, blah 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 blah. Because the main thing that I picked up from doing this is, like, you know, if you were to draw a cylinder inside this, right? That's kind of what it would be like. So then, let's say that this part of the cube is really light and this part of the cube is really dark. Then that's how you know to, like, when you draw the cylinder, you have this portion be really shaded and then the rest of it not be, you know, that kind of shit. Like, you can simplify a cylinder into being a cube. Blah blah blah. That kind of stuff is interesting. And then, I mean, same thing with, like, a cone, right? Then it'd only really be down here that it gets super dark. And, like, up here, it would pretty much, it'd be pretty light, you know. Wow, wow, wow. I'm just talking about random bullshit now. Let's get together. gonna name my layers while you're doing that. Wah. I think all the lighting stuff's a little too advanced. Cool. So, was there anything in particular that... Actually... So you're still on, like... just shapes. Hell yeah. Okay. So... Actually, would you be willing to send me what you've drawn so far? Because then I can get a better idea of, like, where you're actually going right now. Because that's kind of why I was like, I'm just going to start talking about random bullshit. So I was, like, not 100% sure where you're going based off of, like, I drew a cube. You don't have to, though. Etc. Hi, Twilight. 3 different colored squares that were made with a ruler. Oh, that kind of a cube. Yeah, where it's isometric. Yeah, Discord DM works. I have sent you a friend request. Twilight, what is it? My cat is very offended that I am sitting at my desk. By the way, finished rigging my new VTuber model. Yo! Awesome, Soul! Like I said, started drawing random stuff, so don't expect anything. Yeah, no worries. What the shit is... I cleaned your room. It's a twinkle twinkle. Want me your wife, but shit is... Oh my god, the Blue Sky Bots embeds is gigantic. Oh my god, that's awesome! Wait! But yeah, congrats Soul on the new VTuber model. I'm super excited. Yeah, no, Dalek, that's awesome. No, that doesn't look bad at all. Okay, so Dalek sent me a really nice render of, like, just cel-shaded Dango, where he added some highlights for depth. That looks awesome. What are you talking about? Like, you could use that as an asset somewhere, and no one would blink an eye at it. Like, that genuinely looks good. On it, like, outside of the context of, like, I know you are a beginner, whatever, like, unironically, that's good. The only thing that I can think of off the top of my head is that, like, I'll pick this brush. Like, hello? Oops. Nope. Not that brush. It's like, let's use the classic. So, like, cause you made the bits of Dango, overlap each other really nicely, right? So, the step after that is making it so that, similar to, like, how the white overlaps the pink and the green overlaps the white, that, because of the perspective of it, the stick also overlaps the green a little bit. That's the only thing in that I would change. Honest to God. That is the only thing in that I would change. Like... That looks really nice. That's basically what he sent me. And, like, the only noticeable difference between what you sent me and that is, like, just this little extra semicircle of brown that I added. Unfortunately for the rest of chat, I am not showing them our Discord DMs because privacy and such, but take my word for it, y'all. What? Meow. Why are you so upset? What? She just gave me the dirtiest look ever. That you're really shaky? You're on digital, right? So here's the thing with digital versus, like, real art, or not real, like, hang on. Do I have a pen? I should have a pen. Do I have a pen? I don't know. I'll show you with a pencil. So, the thing that, a lot of people will tell you that when you start doing digital art, you should not turn on stabilizers or else you aren't getting the same, quote-unquote, that you're not getting, like, the same practice at drawing steady lines that you would in real life. But what people don't realize is that in real life, you're dealing with friction from your paper. Like, the steadiness of your hand comes from the fact that you are going against something that is causing friction. And so you have, like, it's significantly different from drawing on glass or a screen, right? So what people don't realize is that actually the paper, the friction from the paper, the friction of lead or wax or paint against canvas or lead or wax against paper is a real-life stabilizer. So, like, for example, I've turned off my stabilizer on my digital program, and, like, let's say I just draw a bunch of straight looking, I'm drawing a fucking cube again, because why not? Those lines look pretty smooth, deliberate, whatever to me. They're not straight because I didn't use a ruler, but they look fine. But then if I do, like, basically the exact same thing on, here with no stabilizer, then, let me get a pencil for, like, well, hang on. Brother. Then, like, it doesn't have the same... Okay, this was a bad example because I'm used to drawing on a screen now. Fuck. Because now I'm used to both, so I have muscle memory for both, and I don't know how to... Oh, wait. Hang on. You know, like, switched hands to kind of give the same idea. Like, you know, you've lost the texture of the paper. There's nothing keeping your hand from just kind of slip and sliding everywhere, other than, let's say, a stabilizer. So, I would recommend turning your stabilizer on to, like, let's say you started at, like, 30, right? I'm pretty sure that's where I put mine when I first started out, was, like, at, like, 25, 30, because that way I wasn't giving myself so many concessions that I was able to get my line straight without really trying too hard, but I also wasn't, like, you know, dying. Like, that's with 100 stabilization. That's what I use for my, like, cheap illustrations and stuff. This is, like... Oh, wait. Oh, no, this scales to... Yeah, this is with, like, 30. And you can see that, like, there's more hiccups in the, line width and stuff at the beginning and the end. But the middle part's fine, but then with 0 stabilization, it's a lot more jaggedy, as opposed to being one smooth thing, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I'd say, like, starting your stabilization somewhere between 10 and 20 could be good, you know? But having 0 stabilization in a digital program it's not cheating, or, like, it doesn't actually bring you closer to being in traditional art. It's just kind of disabling yourself for no reason, in my opinion. as a person that did only traditional art for like a really long time. Not since I've been an adult, so obviously I'm gonna be biased in one way or another. But, you know. But yeah, the Dango's really good. That's like impressive. Hell yeah. Also with the duck, like, did not sneeze. So, like, if we want to talk about things that you could, you know, change, right? Hang on, I'll just draw like a quick little, like, thumbnail version of what you drew, right? Never mind, that's not what that looks like. If I can draw that down real quick. I cannot, as it turns out, draw it quite correctly, but yeah, I made the duck too big. Whoopsies! That's not right. Sorry. The sun I just drew for the memes. Ah, I see. Have you not been using stabilization? And again, this was with stabilization 13. So, you know, if I were being more careful, right? I have not. Everything was at 2. Awesome. So, like, you can see here, like, these, hiccups in the lines. Like, if I were being more careful the way I would in real life... Actually, in real life, I wouldn't be that zoomed in. You know. You know, and then it would have less bits and bobs in it and whatnot. Typical for me to do everything on hard mode. That's such a vibe. Yeah, me not realizing that you can upgrade your nail in Hollow Knight. Whoops. So, anyway. So, there's this, the thing that I was kind of touching on in Reen's Discord when I was going over it is, like, drawing what you think versus drawing what you see, right? So, for example, a lot of the time when people draw an eye, they draw this, right? And it is easily identified as an eye, but it doesn't look realistic. Why doesn't it look realistic? Because there's a lot more lines to an eye, 1, but 2, a lot of the things that you see connecting, like these corners here, don't connect that way on a physical eye, right? Even if you add the little thing here to, like, the first drawing I did, that's still not quite right, right? And that's because, you know, this line extends over because it's a fold in the skin. And then this has a bit more depth to it because there's the water line of the eye. And then, you know, the eyelashes don't just come from this one edge, right? They come from, like, kind of this band of skin that's above your eyeline and stuff like that, you know? Blah, 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 blah. And, you know, like, you... in most art styles, also, you can go ahead and draw the outline of the iris like that, right? But, you know, let's say I were painting this, right, it wouldn't make sense for me to do a dark blue outline and then fill in the middle with, like, the actual eye color, you know? The outside of the eye color is darker. Sorry. Like, the outside of the outer ring of the iris is typically darker, but expressing that with a harsh outline isn't necessarily the best thing to do compared to, like, you know, drawing in a darker edge afterwards with shading rather than outlining, right? And that's because I can hear my 9th grade art teacher's voice in my head. Outlines don't exist in real life. Whatever. But obviously, where I'm going with that. Obviously with the duck. That's not a one-to-one conversation because you weren't going for a real-life duck or a real-life rubber duck even. But if we talk about things that could make your drawing look more quote-unquote advanced, right? A big one is that the like joint of a bird's wing that connects to its like shoulders, or rather, the wing is not entirely like closed off from the body this way, right? The same way that the body isn't entirely closed off from the head. Like, you could have drawn the body like this, and it still would have been good, but because you only did, like, this partial outline of it, it looks more quote-unquote realistic, right? You can do the same thing with the wings, where, you know, without changing much else, it's just, like, a little bit of a break in the line, and it looks a little, like, cleaner / quote-unquote more realistic. You did a really nice job with the bill. Yeah. You know, it's like... That looks so much... Yeah! Right? And, like, I basically traced... And I didn't even add to your drawing. I took a little bit away from it. Right? Like... a lot of the... And also, that's another thing. A lot of the time you think of art as adding more things, adding more guidelines. Like, the way I used to draw heads was fucking insane. I used to do this shit and that shit and add a nose and a line and a brow and fucking vertical, diagonal, horizontal, whatevers, you know, and, like, without really understanding why I was adding those things, you know? Now? I fucking raw dog that shit, you know? Because, like, sometimes less really is more. I don't know. It's, Thanks, Lady Gaga. That's not the best example of a well-drawn face, but you know what I mean. Like, let's see, what's another example of things people tend to draw too many lines on? Something people tend to draw too many lines on. Noses! Oh my god, noses! The way that kids tend to draw noses is they do big nostrils, and then they do this, and then they do that, you know? But going back to this idea where I was talking about the iris, where, like, it's a lot of the time it makes more sense to shade or block in a middle gray tone rather than putting a hard black outline, right? That happens with noses. So, like, places where it does make sense really to put a line is, like, these places where there's a really strong, like, change in depth on the skin, right? But, like, there's not really a reason to... And also, I'm not gonna do fancy shading here. I'm just gonna, like, do these little hash lines. But, like, you know. This looks a lot more realistic as a nose than this does. Even though, technically, in terms of outline, if I take away this hatching, if I take away the little bits of shading that I did, this kind of looks horrible. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, also, another good way to kind of a good way to teach yourself the difference between this and this is to take a photo and trace it, but not just random tracing, you're mindfully tracing it, right? So, let me find a picture of my face. 1 second. Oop, no. Wait. 1 second. Do I have a picture of my face saved to my computer? I probably don't. Maybe I do. All I have is drawings of Rain and Chaos, because those are the last 2 VTuber models I worked on. Hang on. Let me Google photo of Guy. These are elite art lessons here. So let me pick like an easy one and then a harder one. Like, yep, that's a guy. Oh my god, the image name is Guy Barron. That's so funny. Oh, his name is Guy. Okay. Okay, we're picking Guy Barron from University of London and Guy Blanc from Stanford University. For whom the PNG name is Guy Headshot. Awesome! That picture's Look at the difference in the size between their PNGs, that's so funny! Guy Barron! Why are you so big? Guy Barron from the University of London! Oh wait, no, or is this one... I've already forgotten which one's which. It doesn't really matter, does it? Anyway! I appreciate that it's named the layers for me, so I now have layers named Guy Headshot. Anyway. Tracing mindfully. Also, Dalek, am I making any fucking sense to you? If I'm like... If you're just like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, please tell me. Because I tend to do that. Because I have ADHD. And as the title mentioned, I was a music major. I do art as my job now, but I was a music major. So, anyway. Mindfully tracing. So, or like, I guess a better way to say it is like learning from tracing. So, there's 2 things that I notice that people do wrong when I understand what you mean and I kind of follow, but it's kind of fast. Valid. Okay. So, just looking at what we already have. I guess the main thing is the idea of, like, the main thing I'm trying to get across is kind of what I mentioned this in Reen's chat, like this quote, is drawing what you see and not drawing what you think, right? Because even stylistic drawings, like drawings of eyes, to look like artwork as opposed to like a logo, let's say, really do need to have some indicators of realism to them. So, like, you know, like, this looks like a logo, whereas this looks like a drawing, you know? Or even that looks like a children's drawing, whereas this looks like a sketch of a nose. You know? Um, and a lot of the difference is just having space between your lines and not making everything like a super harsh like outline. I hope that helped. I'm sorry. I am glad that you are overall following though. That is important. So kind of a good way to practice that without overwhelming yourself is by tracing over an image, because you can start to see like specific ways that using your outlines can and can't be helpful, right? So I'm gonna trace over this picture the way that I notice a lot of people that are like tracing for the first time tend to. Which is where they don't, even though they're looking at the photo and they're literally drawing on it, a really interesting thing that sometimes happens is that they don't actually really trace the photo. They trace what they think they're seeing, but they don't trace what they're actually seeing. So, like, so like, you know, if you took this... Oh, ad started. I do not believe Dalek is subscribed to me. Whoopsies. Wow. How are you doing, RFN? I hope you're having a good day, and that you are enjoying my insane ramblings. I enjoyed listening to your rambles, and I actually got some sleep. Yay! Still a bit broken, but sleep is sleep. Yes. I'm just, like, kind of prepping this for when Dalek gets back. Cursed ass teeth. Welcome back from ads, Dalek. Are you ready to see some nightmare fuel? Okay, so what I'm getting at with this is that the two ways that I most often see people kind of misunderstand the point of tracing is, one, they don't draw what they're actually seeing, they draw what they think they're seeing. And what people think of when they're, like, before they've, like, learned how portraits work, they think of this head shape, and this ear shape, and this nose shape, and this mouth shape, right? And there are still elements of realism being shown here, right? You know, there are two eyes, and there is a nose, and there is a mouth, and ears do kind of look like that when you simplify them. But since you're tracing a photo, you're not going for something that's been simplified, right? You're going for understanding what in this photo, if it were to become line art, which is a simplification of the pre-existing shadows and stuff, what would need to actually be hard outlined versus what can our brains fill in? In fact, what would our brains have a better time filling in versus being told by an outline, right? And then another thing I see artists do when they first start tracing over things is they trace everything too much. It looks grotesque. It looks a little icky. It looks a little freaky. And more importantly, it doesn't actually look like the image that they've just traced. Right? Like, so if you see people, if like I were running an art class and I told them to trace this image, and one student handed me the thing on the left and one thing handed me on the right, even though the one on the right is more accurate, I wouldn't give the student on the right a higher grade because neither of them are understanding the point of tracing something, which sounds a little silly, but like, they have not demonstrated that they understand how shadows and contours translate to lines and just lines, right? So, and then that said, the way that I would actually trace this, well, also, for another thing that people kind of forget when they draw real people is that chins don't get, like, harsh lines the way that they do in, like, a lot of 2D illustration styles. Like, everybody has a little bit of a quote-unquote double chin, right? So, like, that's one. Another one is the teeth! The teeth! You don't need to drawing all the lines and teeth makes them look insane. So you should, in fact, draw less of the teeth than you think you should. It always looks better when you draw less teeth. Hi Poe, welcome in. That, and, like, you don't need to, kind of like what we talked about with the eye, you don't need to hard connect all of your lines, right? Like, is it technically okay to draw the lower lip that way? Yeah, but if you look at the difference in color between his bottom lip and his actual face, it's not that strong, right? Like, if I put this photo in black and white, those would basically be the same color, right? So I can get that information across by just doing this little line here, and that's all the viewer needs, right? Like, doesn't that look better than this? Right? Same thing with the nose. Like, these right here are cases where, like, the hard outline is kind of needed, because it's where the nose is really obviously hanging over the, whatever the fuck this thing is called, that the place above your lip. No, this is your glabella. What the fuck is this? I don't know. But, like, like, you know, you'll notice on this one, I traced, like, where that shadow is. But, like, this shadow is so diffused. If you actually look at it, it's not a hard shadow like the one, below the noses, where you see a really bright and then a really dark out of nowhere. This one has a smooth transition. And where there's smooth transitions, you probably shouldn't put an outline. Same thing with, like, the ear, right? So, you know, I could go and put in a hard line here the way I did in, when I trace it over here, right? But, like, I don't really need to. They'll be okay without it. And then, like, with the hair... Actually, I think the way I traced the hair was alright. Yeah. Do you want me to send you these photos to trace over? But, like, I would really only pick up on the big, like, waves and curls and quiffs, as opposed to, like... I kind of traced every piece of hair that I could possibly see with my naked eye, which is just unnecessary, right? And then I would draw these creases under his eyes, actually. Just maybe not that harshly. And then, thinking with these lines here. Like, you know, one of these looks significantly more like the reference image, even though all three of them were traced on top of the exact same photo. Does that make sense? And again, the second one is technically more accurate than the first one, but it is also significantly scarier and ugly! So, like, yeah! So, you know, that's kind of the drawing... Oh, that's kind of the drawing what you see versus what you think. This is drawing what you think. Hang on, this is drawing what you think. This is uncritically, critically drawing what you see, right? What you see? This is uncritically drawing what you see, right? Where you just see a thing, and you go, I'm gonna draw that right now, without thinking, does drawing that make this image communicate what I need it to, which is this guy from London University's face? Or does it just make it look ugly? You know, this is having gone through and thought, okay, if I want people's brains to be able to match this line art to this photo. So I'm going to copy down the essentials for that, and maybe a few little fun extra things like in the hair, and everything else the person's brain can fill in. Yeah. And so, how that connects back to the duck is obviously, you know, when you have the... Did I erase it? Oopsies. When you have the whole wing, like, filled in like this, it does communicate that the wing is there, but it's a more, like, coherent viewing experience when the person's brain is allowed to just go, oh yeah, I know the wing's separate from the body, I don't need a separate line to tell me that. That kind of thing. Hello, Emerald, how you doing? Thank you for the hydrate. I'm giving a very ADHD-fueled art lecture right now, which... This is so cursed. He looks haunted. He looks like he's on his... He's about to call his wife and tell her that he lost everything at the casino. Anyway. Yeah. Shoutouts to this random guy. Whose name is actually Guy. Hello, Olalumi. And actually, you know what? Talik, here's your first bit of art homework. I sent you a picture of Guy Barron. And also, I was wrong. This is the one from London University. I sent you a photo of Guy Barron from London... Dr. Guy Barron from London University. And you're gonna trace it. You don't have to, but, like... be nice. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put it in the, like, art channel of my, of my Discord server to see if anyone wants to follow along with the stream. My tracing homework. Hang on, my tracing homework for y'all watching the stream. Say hi to Guy Barron from London University. So if anyone wants to do that, feel free. My favorite homework, drawing some quite literally a guy from London University. Yeah. I can't stop looking at this one. Anyway. Let's see. In the meantime, my friends, I'm gonna be doing this, so have fun doing your homework while I draw little creatures. And obviously, if you have any questions, just ask them, even if they have nothing to do with this. As you can tell, I like rambling, so, like, I don't know, you could ask me how the fuck do I draw a sphere, and I'm good. I would have a good time. So, yeah. Thank you for listening to my insane ramblings. What the fuck is this? What? Ah. I need to... You'd think after making so many VTuber models, I'd be in the habit of naming my layers. Unfortunately for everyone, I'm stupid. Okay. Thank you for redeeming your daily ticket, Lumi! Also, I like that that's his I like that this is his university photo. Like, he's like... For context, I googled photo of Guy, and I forgot that Guy's an actual name, so a bunch of photos of, like, random people showed up, which was gonna happen anyway, but I was expecting, like, stock photos, but these are just, like, selfies of people that have their names on public profiles, so, Guy Barron, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but I had to commit to the bit, man. Let's see, what color do I want to make this guy's eyelids? Ah! You can see that. No, that's not right. Yeah. Yeah, I hope everybody's having a good day. I don't have a whole lot going on. Other than, obviously, working on this, like, yeah, it's a commission. Working on this commission and vibing. Those of you who are in my Discord, you are aware the weather has been kicking my ass. So I have spent the past several days in bed doing nothing, so this is nice. I've been meaning to art stream for a while, I just didn't have the motivation to, so shoutouts to Dalek for... I don't know, I saw the art discussion and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go. This is a really stupid question, but do you know how to make images bigger in Krita? In Krita... I used to use Krita. Do I remember anything about how to use Krita? I think... Oh! Take your image layer. So, Control-T should work. Yes. You can also take your image layer and then find the little transform tool thing and be able to just, like, move the whole layer around. Question mark? But yeah, Control-T pretty universally works. Yeah. This is really one of the streams of all time. Yeah, I'm so used to not using commands. Like, cause I started doing digital art on an iPad, so I never got used to keyboard shortcuts, because when I got this drawing tablet, which is not an Apple device or like a complete tablet, you know, like it needs to be attached to my laptop, it came with this little remote thingy, so I just set up my hotkeys on here. So even then I don't use like Control Z for undo, I hit this and then this for redo. That kind of thing. So yeah. That's very cool. I need it. I think it's more comfortable, yeah. Mostly because, like, you can rest it on the, like, I keep it, like... Hang on. I put it here, you know? So, like, as I'm left-handed. So I use my right hand to move around my layers and stuff, and my, brush size and whatnot. And then I have the remote right here, so I can easily move back and forth between the two. As opposed to, like, reaching all the way to my laptop, which makes you sound lazy, but remember, I have arthritis, so I reserve the right to be lazy. Yeah, very handy. Yeah. Also, I did not realize this tablet was going to be as big as it was when I ordered it, so... LOL. It's working out nicely, though, so I am not complaining. Very big. Yeah. Very good artists need comfortable work. Aw, thank you. I appreciate it. Also, guys, it's hard for me to see the left eyebrow from the University of London guy. Very true. So, when something is hard to see, do you add more outlines to make it easier to see? Or do you draw what you see, which is something that's partially obscured and therefore maybe has less outlines? Right? Because that's the drawing what you think thing, right? If your brain goes, there's an eyebrow there, so there must be lines there. But maybe there's not, because lighting is weird. Right? Yeah. I don't know, human brains really don't like things that, like, they can't immediately see, which is so valid. Wow, this is making no difference, is it? Yeah, it's fine. Also, everybody, Lumi is also a fantastic artist, which makes their username very ironic, so absolutely follow them, por favor. Dalek, remind me, do you stream? I believe you are Hollow Knight? Question mark? That's how Reen and I ran into you, or was it Celeste? I think it might have been Celeste. Ugh. That was the world's saddest fucking burp. I do rarely. Hell yeah. So yeah, everybody in chat, follow each other. Yippee! Wasn't necessary. You are very good. I didn't know you streamed Dalek Followed. Yeah! It makes me very happy to see my friends gathering. Yes, I'm a fool. Never heard like you did it through the curse on the roof. I wanna call it off, but you wanna call it love. I wanna be the one that I call baby. Also, oh my god, guys, completely unrelated, but my Star Wars, that's not a problem at all. Bomb Squad and its adjacent categories are very quickly attempting to become as polylingual as we possibly can, apparently, so... I say that as we've mostly only touched on English, Spanish, and Japanese, but point still stands. Plus Hugo's German, which I'm sure you already know. I just need a little love and I just need a little help. I'm gonna call it off. You call it love. I just wanna love someone who calls me baby. I think we can call that one done. I understand Japanese. I really can't speak it, but I can mostly understand it, kind of. Definitely not to the level that you understand English. Not even close. But, it is still there. Yeah, that looks done. Sick! Alright guys, are you ready for everyone's favorite part of me drawing in this art style, which is I don't know how to draw gradients? I have not a single clue how to draw hair. Oh, hey, Dalek, here's the fun part. You never learn. You get better and better at art. You never really learn how to draw hair. No one ever does. Every single time you draw hair, it's another adventure. It stresses you out every time. It's just one of those things, like, cause, you know, kind of going back to the tracing thing, right? Like, the first thing people do is they try to draw every little strand, and then you start picking up, like, oh, there's shapes in here! Cool! And then you try to add more detail to those shapes, and you're like, wait, where does the shape start and the detail end? And what if I should be shading this and not outlining this? And, oh my god, wait, is the lighting even strong enough for you to see the individual strands of hair? Or should I just be doing, like, this shit? Oh my god, what's hair? How is hair? Why is hair? And it just spirals. I just remembered I haven't taken my ADHD meds today. I'm gonna take those now. What a time to be alive. That's my sleep meds. I should not take those at 6 p.m. Where's my... Alright, everybody. It's Basilia's favorite question. Where are my SSRIs? There. Shit. Did you also not take your meds today? I drew on the same layer as the picture is. Oh no! Well, you could send that to me anyway, because it'd probably be fine, but also, practice makes consistent. It doesn't hurt to do it a second time. Doesn't hurt to do it a second time, even in a row. Plus, actually, you know what? Yeah, do it a second time, and again, kind of looking at these, think about, like, you know, where on the spectrum do you think you are, / where do you think you can get on this next attempt, right? You know, maybe I don't need to outline this, or maybe I should outline that more, and is this a really harsh transition between dark and light, or is it more of a gradient? Blah, 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 blah. Really sad burps today, y'all. Basil, if you were a duck, what features would you like to have? Hair color? Um, in in terms of like my character is in grayscale. Like Basilia Actually, I need to do my ref sheet. Okay, how about this? If I get these 3 chibis done, then I'll actually like work on my ref sheet for my character. Um but yeah, like the being in black and white and then maybe having cuz I have like caracal cat ears, maybe having some kind of tufts of feathers poking out from the top, you know, like the bitch from Chicken Little. um uh let's see. Um yeah. Ah. You're really gonna see what I mean by really shaky. That's so valid. And yeah, and also yeah, once I see, because the thing is, the lines in the duck and the don't look shaky, so I am interested to see what more detailed line work looks like in terms of shakiness. Let's see. The lines on the duck are really shaky if you ask me. What I'm drawing looks like an ogre. That's so valid. Hang on, let me look at the duck again. I almost looked at my copy of your duck. That would not have been helpful. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. That'll be okay. Finish what you're doing right now, and then I have, like, advice, potential advice slash potential exercise to give you. Like, things that you can do to, like, warm up. Stuff like that.
Hey. Sorry.
You're okay.
Run into Giant if you want something.
Yeah. Could you... Coco ate most of the ice cream. And then, I don't know, usual requests, strawberries, green onions.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. Love you. Have to go in a moment. I will leave you lurk. Thank you, Lumi. See your face out there, only to see it again. Yeah, that looks better than I thought it would look. Let's go. I really do not know how to do hair stuff. Let's take a look at it right after I add the scales up here that I forgot. We can do it together. What? Meow! Meow! Okay, so, let me turn... Actually, let's just look at the actual photo you're looking at. So, first I'm just gonna show you, and then I'm gonna try to actually explain what I'm doing. So, what I traced out looks like that. How did I get there? Okay, hear me out. Tracing hair is a very similar procedure as tracing the chin area, where, like, technically everyone has a double chin. Okay, well, this guy no, he did! Where, like, technically everybody kind of has a double chin, right? So, like, there are gonna be lines that maybe don't actually fully connect, even though they're part of the same form, right? Like, that's a chin. So, like, the way that I got there is, like, basically, oh my god, my brain is blanking on words, I'm so sorry. This is one of my favorite gay songs that's playing right now, and my brain's like, hee hee hee, lesbians. So, you know, the way that people tend to break down hair shapes is in swoops, right? And the way that people usually start drawing out those swoops is these crescent moon or like banana shapes, right? But then we come to an impasse when something like this happens, where it's a big swoop, right? But you can still identify where that swoop happens, right? Because, like, let's zoom in all the way in to the point where you can't tell this is hair, right? The way that you could outline this, even without knowing it's hair, is by noticing that this area is significantly darker than everything else. And then noticing that this is lighter than it, right? And that still this doesn't look like hair, but it does communicate the darks and lights in a stylized way. But again, for the sake of actually tracing the photo as opposed to drawing a bunch of blocks on top of a photo, instead of drawing the full crescent moon shape, I'm just going in and adding swoops where I think I need them. And you can notice that I'm not adding them randomly. If you look where I'm underneath where I'm drawing, I'm actually drawing them on top of, like, darker strands and portions of the hair, right? Where my lines start and stop is dictated by the lightness and the darkness of the photo. So, you know, there is a, like, here, there's I'd say, like, a medium tone section, and I technically could take this line all the way up there, but I don't feel like it's necessary because of how little the difference in light and dark from, let's say, here to here is. But here to here, I think is important enough for me to toss in an extra line. Yeah. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It makes sense? Yeah. It's one of those things that's hard to get the hang of, though, because, again, what your brain wants to do is go, but it's hair! You know? So, for me, a lot of learning this was, yeah, a lot of it was, like, just, like, telling my brain, like, no, it is lights and darks. No, it is lights and darks. It's not hair, it's lights and darks. And worrying about the hair part later. You know? It's really difficult, though. Like, I started that process when I was 15? No. 14? And now I'm 22. I've had 8 years to get the hang of that. So, like, don't worry about it too hard, you know? Shit, what color skin was this guy? Did we just not decide on a skin color for Hito's character? Everyone sent their character sheets, where is it? Let's see. Oh my god, Hiro, where is your character sheet? Oh my god, I'm blind. I swear he sent it to me. Oh, he's Sweet Baby Princess, not Nara. I see. The curse of Discord usernames. Haha! Found it. Pardon me not looking at chat at all as I'm doing this. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's only one stray scale. Okay. Whoops. So well, okay, the guy in his reference photo's brown, but Hiro's white, and this character's, like, from the tundra, so I'm gonna draw him as white. And Hiro can take it up with me later. Also, ads are coming up. Besties. Not as white, as the Fox character is, like, white and, like, cool tone skin. I'm gonna make this character warmer tone skin, I think. Still have no fucking idea? That's okay. In that case, just don't worry about the hair for now. Like, hair is definitely the most challenging part of it. It's totally okay to leave that and, like, try tracing other random photos. You can, like, not do faces. Let's say you trace a picture of a water bottle or a stuffed animal or something. You know, kind of get used to the process of interpreting things that have more, like, distinct edges and stuff than a massive hair does. And then maybe try coming back to it in, like, a week and seeing how you feel, right? Like, maybe you'll be able to learn things from tracing other kinds of images that will make it so that a week from now your brain's like, okay, I actually think I know how to dissect the hair a little bit, you know? And then obviously over time, it'll compound on itself more and more. Ah! You guys can't see it, but every now and then I touch something and it opens the, like, Microsoft, like, menu helper guy thing, and I'm like, stop! Like, no, I do not need your help, Clippy, I'm so sorry. Okay, I don't think the Microsoft helper has been called Clippy since, like, 2009, but you get my idea. Oh, here comes my cat. Yes, Twilight? Meow. Meow. What have I done to him? If you want to send it my way, feel free. If not, totally okay. But I am curious now that you've said poor guy. That's so funny. Yes, Twilight. What transgressions have been committed upon thee, my dear sweet feline? Oh, now you stop talking. Okay. Of course the second I'm like, what? She stops. I love my kitty. She's so silly. What? Thank you for the sock. You can't keep stealing Mom's socks. She just visibly, like, gulped at me. Like, she just went... I've never seen a cat do that. Meow. You wanna come say hi? Anyone want to say hi to Twilight? She's here for attention. Come here. Wait, hang on. Let me move my tablet so she can't draw on it with her paws. On accident. Twilight, come here. Twilight, come here. Do you not want to say hi? What's going on? Cat. Girl. Here she is. Kitty cat. Sweat. One of my favorite things to do with new K-pop fans is to show them the stage mix of the song and like watch their lives get changed forever. Okay, I'm gonna be temporarily unable to read chat because my cat's in the way, but I'm sure that you guys don't mind. Welcome back from ads! Are you really sure you want to see it? I am! As soon as my cat's butt's out of my face. Oh! She settled exactly where I put my, drawing tablet, so we're not gonna be drawing for a hot sec. Oh no! Like I said, it looks like an ogre. Awesome. Honestly. Hell yeah. I think Willow said that the photo we're tracing kind of looks like gasified Star-Lord. So, or no, it was depressed Star. I don't remember which one. So, I don't know. But I'm sure that, Guy, whatever his last name is, doesn't mind. It does not reflect on him. Okay, it has been sent. Oh my god. Dalek, would you like me to review this with you on stream, which may or may not entail me showing it to people, or no? Twilight! Twilight! Hi! I invite her, I pick her up and take her to my desk, and then I'm like, what? I don't mind. Yippee! Hell yeah, let's go. Well, actually, hang on. Is it better for me to just say things verbally? Twilight. Okay, I'll do it later, because right now there's a cat that, like, does not want to get... I put my drawing tablet here, and she's sitting here. So we're gonna... we're gonna hang out with my cat for a little bit. Because I did, in fact, like, pull her up onto the desk. It's not like she jumped up on here without asking me. So, I need to take responsibility for my actions, you know? Hi, baby. Look at thee. Ow! Do you... Okay. Please don't eat that. That's an eraser thing. Please don't eat that. What? Just spending some time with the cat. That's what you guys came to the stream for. Oh! Up she gets. And off to the cat bed she goes! Thank you, Twilight. Everyone say thank you, Twilight! Bye, Twilight! I sound like a preschool teacher. Everyone say bye, Bus! Hi, Yoon! I love you! Okay, so, Dalek, looking at what you, looking at what you traced. Let's see, can I get this to cooperate with me? Pattern from image? No, that's not it. I want to extract lines from the image. How do I do that? Discord. I can just make it transparent, actually. Love you too. Yay! Yeah! Not bad. Okay. So. Initial thoughts, right? I personally would have not, I personally wouldn't have... Hello? Oh, that's an eraser. That's why. Wait, rasterize? Rasterize. I personally wouldn't have pushed these lines that far up. Kind of like in the example we talked about. I would have stopped them there. But also, I actually would have taken these lines further over than you did. That, and I wouldn't have, had that line in the middle there, because since his head is, like, the camera, you'll notice, is below his nose, right? And so, this part of the nose isn't hanging in front of the upper lip the way it was in the other photo. In this one, it's just transitioning, and his nose isn't all that, like, pointy, so there's actually not a huge difference in between those two areas. It's more of a curve than, like, a harsh overhang, right? Really like how you did the lips. Interesting thing is, let's see, with the hair, you did, kind of the opposite of what I thought you were gonna do, actually. And by that, I mean, you outlined the hairline and not just the outside of the hair. Like, what I was expecting to see was, like, this. You know? And actually, yeah, I would say that if you are completely stuck on the hair, then if nothing else, outline the, like, top bit of it. And then for the hairline, like, maybe, like, because, you know, the hairline does have variation to it, right? It isn't a solid block of hair. Like, it's, like, this kind of looks like a Lego piece, whereas if you add kind of these little wisps, kind of the way that people tend to draw eyelashes, then it can look a little less uncanny valley, you know? Let's see. I think that the quote-unquote errors I see in the eyes are actually because of, the way that I placed them, but I don't think that this bit under his eyes is prominent enough to outline at all, and then for the bit right above it, I'd only outline it, like, this much? You know? That communicates that bit under his eyes is a little puffy, you know, almost like an Aegis-Sol, but it's not like a you know? Yeah. I also like what you did with the eyebrows, just I would have got like a couple more hairs over here. Like a couple more. Not that many, but like just a couple. And then, you know, kind of like what we talked about, it's harder to see because he has a beard. But if you do look really closely, you can see that there are... Stop it, Aaron. You can see that there are these kind of breaks in the chin's outline, right? Where they don't quite one-to-one match up because, once again, technically everyone has a double chin in real life. That, and because of, this is a little, maybe unnecessary to mention, but because of the like, camera lens setting he used, in this case he does actually have, like, a harsh line in between his cheekbones and the ears, so, like, yeah, just, I added that line there. So, but yeah, so, you said you thought he looked like an ogre, but if we look at exactly what you did, with the only changes being making the hairline not completely solid, adding a completely solid external outline for the hair, and not adding but removing lines otherwise, looks pretty good. You did a good job. The only, like, big thing to me was the lack of hair, and then the bridge of the nose being a little, like, overlined, quote-unquote. You know? You did a really good job. Ayo? Like, you should be proud of yourself. And, like, even without the changes I made, you know, it looked recognizable, at least. And that is the important part. Let's go, Dalek! Yeah! Yeah, baby! Oh! There's more. Woo! Anyway. What a guy. Thank you, Dr. Guy. From Guy Crunchy, indeed. I should probably clip that later. Fucking, like, ASMR compilation. But yeah, no, Dalek, you did awesome. Like, for a second try, that was really good. You should be very proud of yourself. Like, yeah, I'm proud of you. I'm really excited about, like, how well you picked that up. Yummy! And I'm glad I was able to articulate what I was trying to, because that's always my concern when I try to, like, say stuff to people, is I'm like, what if I just sound like a thesaurus? What if I just sound like I ate an encyclopedia, and I'm just, like, reciting the article rather than, like, articulating a concept to them? So, like, I'm really glad it worked out and everything. I love you, Sir Basil. I love you too, Hunan! Oh my god, guys, Hunan said she loves me! Oh my god! But yeah, we be slayin'. We be slayin'. Wait, what? There we go. You know what the real problem with trying to have good posture as an artist is? It's the fact that I swear to God, I feel like, not physically, but I feel like mentally you draw better when you're, like, in gremlin mode. You know what I mean? Like, I doubt that's a hot take. I'm very certain other people share that opinion. But I don't know, I wanted to ask, like, how many of y'all have that? Like, I swear a flip switches in my brain. Or switch flips in my brain. And I just start drawing better. Right! For the shakiness! Yes. Okay. Well, first of all, one thing that I think... Let's see if I can get a thing on my hands. Ah! That That was awesome. I'm so good at this. Right? It is even. Thank you, Hyun. Right? Like, you. Anyway. So, let me. Oh my god, it's just a guy. So, first of all, I think something that a lot of people do is they kind of like. I am currently using a brush that has no stabilization. They kind of like. Almost. They very slowly draw the lines because they think that's helping them be more be more precise, but it's not really. Like, if I were to trace over this with a red pencil, right? Like, some people's inclination is to very, 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 very slowly, like, go over the line like that. But you saw me draw this. The way that I draw these lines is very quickly going from point A to point B. And that's a concept called line confidence. And you might be asked, Aaron, how do I get line confidence? The exercise that I used for that is you draw a dot, and you draw a dot, and you go, whoop! And, like, oh, okay, I went a little over. I want my line to stop exactly at the second dot, so I try again. Oh, I stopped a little too early. Go again. Oh, I missed it. Go again. I went too far. You know, and, oh, hey, that one looks good. That kind of thing. And over time, you can start drawing the dots way quicker, and the line way quicker. Yeah. It's kind of it feels a little silly, but it is a good warm-up. Just, like, seeing what length of line you need to use what hand speed for. You know, like, for that little gap, there's no point to me going yeah, you can draw a single line 100 times, exactly. Because, you know, there are times when going that slow is appropriate, but most of the time it hinders you rather than helps you. Another thing is not just using your wrist or your fingers. So the way that a lot of people tend to do pen strokes when they first start drawing is they park their hand on, like, say this is the paper, they park their hand on the paper and they do this. But you'll notice that when I draw, I'm doing this shit. I'm using my whole arm, usually at least down to my elbow, if not up to my shoulder when I'm doing, like, an actual painting, which I haven't done in years because I switched to digital in high school, but, like, you know what I mean? You know, like, you'll, you know, like, it's a lot easier to draw a smooth curve if instead of doing this, I'm doing this. Right? That, and also, Dalek, I noticed you're using, like, a ballpoint pen brush. I'd use a pencil brush to start. Both because it looks a little more natural, like, it has, you know, like, the pencil brushes in Clip Studio have this texture and stuff like that. But also, like, I don't know, drawing with a ballpoint pen in real life, even, has a little bit of, like, a unnatural... What the fuck is that? Hello? That's not the one. Like, you know, it's not going to feel... Oh, I have hella stabilization. It's not gonna have as, like, natural or smooth a feel as a pencil, mostly because, like, with pencil you'll notice that it tapers at the end of my strokes and stuff, whereas with this pen there is no variation at the end. It stays the same thickness no matter what I do. Because a lot of what adds to the quote-unquote natural feel of lines is variation in the line's thickness. Which is why you'll notice when I do this art style, even though there's no variation in line thickness in each individual line, like, if I draw one line, one curve, it will be in one thickness, but, you know, then I insert more line breaks so that I can put line thickness variation in that way, right? So I think that little exercise to kind of try to get more confident and a little faster will help with the shakiness, and I think that the kind of, like, awkward feeling could be helped with a brush change and kind of helping the flexibility of your hand and your wrist. Like I used to have a big problem with like parking the side of my hand on the paper and doing this, and so literally sometimes I just stand up and just go like like be like, Aaron, you can move the rest of your arm. So yeah, that is my advice. TM. Blah. I hope it helps. But yeah, seriously, awesome job on the tracing. I'm really impressed by that. I would also, I'd just say, like, pick random photos, of stuff that you maybe want to try tracing. If you have a hard time deciding, then ask me, and I'll just send you a bunch that I think look fun. Maybe I'll send you a Rubik's Cube, who knows? Actually, that would be interesting, because, yeah, that would, your first instinct would be to just draw, like, a 9x9 cube, but, you know, that each individual cube on a Rubik's Cube has rounded edges to it, right? So, that could be an interesting exercise, too. Kind of like how what I mentioned about drawing teeth, where, like, actually, it's better for you to not draw everything, the entire outline of a tooth, because it looks scary. It's kind of like that with, the Rubik's Cube. These lesbians! Let's see, I think my Osumi is kicking me in the straight line exercise. After a few tries, my muscle memory kicking in, just flicking to the next point no matter how the line looks. Hey, that's also a valid way to do it. I mean, you can set up a bunch of just random dots, right? And just go from dot to dot, line to line. You know? Actually, that could be a decent way to test how accurate you're being, is if you keep tracing the same lines but in a random order. You know? Like, not doing the same order every time, and then you can see, because, you know, the less messy it looks by the end of your repetitions, the more, like, accurate your line confidence has gotten. You know? Like, because, like, let's, like, I don't know, I'll do this with my non-dominant hand real quick, right? Where I set up all my dots, and I go... You know, like, less line accuracy, more line accuracy, right? That's a fun variation on that exercise. I hadn't thought about that before. Hell yeah! Big brain. The bass line for this song is so satisfying! Ah! Okay. Eyeballs. Oh. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I like this song. That looks insane. But slightly less insane. No, that guy's depressed as fuck. He shouldn't have like a major eye highlight. This guy though should have a decent one. Yeah. That's too big. Yeah, I should probably just go with the classic. Just dot. Yeah, that makes more sense. Agree, I like it too. It's so satisfying! Yeah, let's go. It's already got so messy that I'm just drawing lines. Hey, it's better than drawing nothing. It's always better than drawing nothing. You can't fix something if it doesn't exist yet. That's a big, like, thing that I always tell myself. I don't always follow through on my own advice, as we all well know, but a big thing that I repeat to myself a lot is, like, I can't fix it if it doesn't exist. So I need to make it exist first. And you are making it exist. So hell yeah. I can't remember what color eyes this bitch is supposed to have. Whoopsies. It's such a, like, a artist thing to do, is put the least amount of effort into your own character. I say as I still don't have a ref sheet for Basilia. What color are her eyes? Brown eyes. I see. Yes, I knew she had brown eyes. Haha! Oh my god, she's been beheaded. No! Ah! That's an eraser. I've decided she doesn't have eyebrows now. Oh, hey Sammy! How you doing? I'm working on these chibis for a D&D campaign that I'm doing, and also teaching, semi-teaching, tracing exercises and stuff like that. Playing Skyrim. Ooh! Hell yeah. Also, this is literally just me freshman year of college. I don't know if you remember that, but it is literally just me my freshman year of college. Although I only wore my hair like this like 3 times, but it still counts. For context, Sammy and I went to college together. And I did clear the fact that I've doxed the college I went to them before they joined chat. As good friends do. I remember that one guy screaming at you across the dining hall. Screaming at me? Is this a transphobic one, or like my friend being like, "Oh, I'm so glad I can find where you are in the dining hall because your hair's so bright." Both of those incidents happened while my hair was green. A question, yes. You may ask your question. I think he asked if you were gay or something because he had green hair. Oh, I don't remember that one, but I do remember one time I was just like, I was eating my Chick-fil-A in the dining hall, and then these guys started yelling at me like, "What even are you? Why are you dressed like that?" Because I think they thought that I was like a male, like cross-dressing rather than being like a feminine person with short hair. And the guy was obviously like off his rocker on some kind of a substance, and his friends were trying to get him to shut up, but he's just being like, "Oh, you're like a thing. Like what are you do you call yourself an it? Like what's wrong with you?" And so I just got up and went back to my dorm because that was something else happened that same day and I was already tired. But I do remember that you guys were at Anna's house when that happened because I texted me here like, "Oh my god, this just happened to me," right as Anna asked like, "Oh, how's Aaron?" And me here was like, "Not great." Let's see, what am I forgetting? I'm forgetting blush. You are a cold-blooded creature. You shall not have blush. Completely lost track of what I'm doing and started doing random stuff. That's the best way to do art, in my opinion. I don't even know what the rest of that sentence was going to be. I'm starting to, like, actually lock in on doing my job instead of just yapping. Crazy! Yeah, that's fine. Alright. I think these are done. Yeah, I think these are done. Yippee! I'm gonna send these to the people that I drew them for approval before these are gonna be Fugies, like mouth closed, mouth open when they talk in Discord. So I'm gonna make sure that they like them in this form, before I do the open mouth layer bit. We'll work on my character sheet in the meantime. Tell me, baby, what's the deal? Oh, look it, I know it, baby, my eyes reveal. You give me the feels. It's all in my heart, oh yeah. Never let it go, never let it go, please react with a break. Please Please react with a gray heart if you have no revisions. Once everyone has reacted, I will do the mouth open part for Fuki. Wah. Alright, my Fable's a dragon. Yeah, that's Willow's character. Whoops, no line art. What did I do? Did I accidentally delete all the line? What the fuck is this? What song is this? Oh, it's just adding random songs now. Whoops, I don't want autoplay actually. You know what, how about we take a break from the girly pop playlist for today? Let's go to like my random like songs playlist while I'm drawing. Because I'm going to be working on my character's ref sheet. So... why not? Not starting off strong. Also the fact of the fabric effect on the first one. Yeah! I'm really proud of this. I'm really, really proud of this. I did not think this was going to turn out as good as it did in, like, chibi form. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But, like, it's very clearly a character under a veil. Mission accomplished. But yeah, so we have these guys. I'm gonna make their mouths open later. For now, I believe I have lost my, character sheet file. So I think we're gonna, like, kind of start that over. But, like, I do have a PNG of it, so it's not- I can, like, trace over it to make it not teeny tiny. But I have to find it first. You were right, at least I tried. File import failed?! What do you mean file import failed? It's a PNG! What? That's never happened to me. I have never had Clip Studio Paint just outright refuse to import a PNG. What? Hello? Hello, Mr. President? Yeah, I need to save this. Mr. President? Wait, sound of crying. I don't want to start over. I don't want to start over. Okay. Cool. Main thing that I have to worry about, shoutouts to, actually, hey Sammy, this is a life update and a half. Main thing I worry about with the character ref sheet is that when I designed this, there were 1, 2, 4, 7, 10, 15 of us. Now there's 20. And I have no idea, like, when that number will change again. So I need to come up with a different thing. Thank you. I need to come up with a different thing to, like, articulate what that is. In terms of, like, symbolism on the character's body. That, or just take the L. Could do that too. But, yeah. Most of this is correct, though. Gonna go to bed now. It is 1 a.m. for me. I wish you luck, Dalek. Get good sleep. And you did an awesome job. Be proud of yourself, or perish. Why isn't it copy and pasting? Oh, that's why. Oh, come on. So that, and part of me kind of wants to do something different with the hair, but I don't know what that something different would be. So, like, it's not a big deal. Because, you know, the obvious answer is just add more things. However, comma, what if I have to keep adding more things? Hello, Reen! What time is it for you? Should you be awake? How's streaming? It's been good! I have gone over, this stuff with Dalek. Kind of like a little art lesson thing. Midnight, gotcha. And then I finished these guys. So it's going pretty good. And now I'm working on my ref sheet again. Also already know I want to redo the face. So, like the eyes and stuff, so. Yeah, as well. Get that here just so I have like a fresh brain about it. I know I want to redesign the back of this because that looks crazy. I don't know. But yeah, I want to redo the eyes and maybe rethink the hair. But I'm not sure exactly what I'd be doing. And yeah, finally updating the Basilia ref sheet. It's been months. You know what? Maybe I should just make it so that there are gems in the back. Maybe I should just make it so that there are gems in the back. And then, like, brain. Make it so that there are gems in the back and just kind of... Because that way, that would be a section that doesn't show on the VTuber model, so I wouldn't have to worry about updating that asset every time, but then I have to ask who wants to be in the back. I already know one that definitely wants to be in the back. But, no, I know two that definitely do. There's 5 that are okay with being in the back. Well, that solves that problem! Unless we get a 21st guy. In which case... Wait, no! Wait, 3, 5... Sorry for spacing out for a second. We were chatting. Wait, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, 16. No, there's only 4 in the... Willow? Good to see you streaming again. Yeah, thank you. It's been a time. It's been a time. I have been unable to stay awake for like more than a couple of hours, and then when I was able to stay awake for more than a couple of hours, I just felt sad. Typical like, oh no, I'm disabled in my 20s kind of emotional crisis. But now I'm back, and you probably saw it in the server, but look at the guys. Look at the guys. They're doing the thing. Very good to see you, Willow. And yeah, we went over tracing and stuff during stream today. The 3 horsemen of the apocalypse and Ace Angulianos, among other things. And then yeah, touching up on my brain character sheet. I'm obsessed with Fern's tired expression. Yeah, she is a goblin. And she has no eyebrows. She burnt them off. So... Actually, wait. I wanted to add... I did want to add, though... Just little under eyelashes. Real quick. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. But yeah, Mushroom Queen, yeah. But yeah, as mentioned in my server, I did want to change up the eyes on this character based off of one of my baby pictures. Because I've been thinking about, like, how do I, like, animeify my eyeballs? And then I saw my literal baby photo, and I was like, oh, okay. That's kind of what I was visualizing in my head. Let's go for it. Also, I look adorable in that photo, so hell yeah. But yeah, that does, however, mean I have to draw things. That and I y'all saw how long I took to decide on what my hair was gonna look like when I did the first version of the rough sheet, and now, obviously, I'm even more in agony over it. Like, I like it. Like, if this was someone else's character, I'd feel good about it. But it doesn't feel like my character yet. So I'm kinda like, Part of me wants to just go for, like, I don't know. The main thing is, of course, the dreaded bangs, and then, you know, just, like, what do I do with it? What do I do with it? You know? It's always hard to decide. So, I'm keeping this portion of the ref sheet the same. I just want to trace it so it's in higher definition. And then, after that, I wanna... Yeah. My brain's not working, but you got the idea. Okay. Let's start just... Yeah, let's just start with, like, a... sketch. Because I know I want to keep the dress and the jewelry the same. So, yeah. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We always do. That is not the right pen to use. Why am I taking so long to draw one line? Don't answer that. Good night, Rin! I hope you get good sleep. It's like one of my least favorite Twice rap sections. I regret to inform the public. I think one of the most insane music takes I've had is that this song is, like, quote-unquote less annoying than Girlfriend. Like, somebody's gripe with Avril Lavigne's music is that it felt, like, a little annoying to that, which is fair, like, that's a personal opinion, but I'm like, you think that... Oh, it's a bathroom? I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. We're not listening to this while I pee. We're not listening to that while I pee, either. What am I gonna listen to while I pee? Hang on. Oh my god. Okay. Thank you, Billie Joe Armstrong. Sure. Bro, I hit the play button. Anyway. BRB pissing. Hello, I am no longer pissing. I'm so bad at remembering to, like, use the bathroom when ads are playing. Instead of, like, seeing that ads are done and then being like, oh my god, guys, I have to pee! So, LOL. Oh yeah, also guys, my Star Wars yaoi brain rot has gotten so bad that I actually re-downloaded Tumblr, because there's fucking nothing on Twitter. Because with, like, Attack on Titan, like, there's a lot of fandom content for that on Twitter still. None for... None for... I don't know, it was funny too, because I saw, like, when I was still trying to find stuff on Twitter for, like, the ships that... I mean, I'm a Levi Aaron shipper. You can imagine what my favorite Star Wars ship is. People were like, oh my god, what has to be wrong with you for you to ship that? And I'm like, do you want to see my, like, diagnostic information or what? Like... Because there is an answer, I just don't know if you want to hear it. I heard that the first character to get MPregged in fanfic history was Han Solo. I thought it was Captain Kirk. I thought it was Star Trek that started that. No, Star Trek was the first Omegaverse fanfic. And if I remember correctly, that was back when fanfics were being, like, physically printed in order to be distributed. So... because hosting websites was so ridiculously expensive. But yeah. I will say, me being... me being kind of mentally ill about Anakin's Force Ghost canonically still being 22 while Obi-Wan's Force Ghost is, like, the age he died at, which is, like, in his 60s, reminds me of this one insane tweet I saw where somebody complained about the age gap between Levi and Aaron, and their response was, I'm gonna write an AU where Aaron gets reincarnated, swims across the fucking ocean when he's old enough to fuck Levi just to make the age gap bigger, specifically to spite you. And I'm like, I feel like I'm experiencing a much more peaceful version of that. Anyway. But yeah, getting mentally ill about Star Wars hours have arrived in 2025 of all years. I don't know why it took me until 2025, but lol. Hello? Stop. Go away, weird menu. I'm sobbing the videos by... I have no idea what you're talking about off the top of my head somehow. Oh, is... What? Hang on, I'm blanking on it. Oh, those... Yeah. 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 Truly, some of the posts... Yeah, they're videos, you know? They're videos. Also, it was funny, because I briefly sat there and I wondered, like, what makes a difference between the genocidal tyrants that my brain decides it relates to and the ones that it decides it doesn't relate to? Because, like, we got Eren Yeager, we got Anakin Skywalker, two people that went fucking insane. That's not the part I relate to. Anyway, to be absolutely clear. And I realized that the common thread between all of them is that they were morally wronged and specifically eternally doomed by their fathers. So, father figures. So, I'll worry about that after I've moved out. Aren't I just one of the people of all time? Thank you. He's based most of the time, okay? He's based most of the time. It's okay. I'm going to ignore Pandora clawing at the bars of her enclosure in the back of my brain as I say that. Okay. Now to decide what I'm doing with the hair and the eyes and everything else. Yes. He's faced when he's not burying bed frames. Yeah. 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 Is this the Broadway version of this song? It is! I love that I can differentiate that almost immediately. This one's fine. Okay. Hair, hair, hair. Hair, 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 hair. 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 How hair? What is hair? How is hair? Why is hair? Draw hair? Why? How? Too soon. The American Idiot musical is also a musical. I guess I just don't understand why the original, like, storyline of American Idiot has an A plot and a B plot. I don't understand why in the musical... No, actually, sorry. Has just an A plot, no B plot. And I understand that for a musical, you probably have to introduce a B plot, like, just for the sake of entertaining the audience. But they had an A plot, a B plot, and a C plot. And they only added 2 songs. No, they only added 3 songs that were not in the original American Idiot to the musical soundtrack, and one of them wasn't part of the story. It was like the encore. Like, they all get on stage with acoustic guitars and they sing Good Riddance, the graduation song. They're like, another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. That one. So I'm like, what happened? Anyway. Pieces, fuck you. Too much too soon. Too little and now you're coming unglued. Hang on. I'm gonna very unceremoniously not be able to read chat for the next several minutes. I'm looking at my own face as a reference. Sorry, folks. Oh my god, guys, it's talking about Fall Out Boy hours. Everyone's favorite. That's when I'm smiling. So... realistically, they would look like that. Then I knew I wanted the makeup on this version of the character to be a little more dramatic, I think, but I don't know about it being that dramatic. Willow's getting wild, can't wait to be problematic in these few minutes of being off stream. Oh no! Just immediately starts saying slurs. Do I know if it actually looks like me? Or do I think this actually really looks like me? No, but, like, I think it's... I feel more satisfied with attempting to use that, like, method of getting it to look a little more like me than I do without it, so, like, yeah. In case anyone's wondering, like, why do you care if it looks like you? It's 'cause, like, it's pretty, yeah. It's 'cause, there's 20 of us in here, and we would rather it look more like us in person than, like, a completely different character. But that's also based off of our, like, baby photo that hangs up in our living room, so LOL. Also, we did check that our parents have never publicly published that baby photo before we sent it in a public channel on the internet. We are not stupid. Not completely fair. Yeah. And yeah, I just like it more, too, than the original bit that I had, so hell yeah. Yo, remember when Riverdale did a Tethers episode? I had big ass eyes when I was a baby. Jesus. Yeah, I like that. Not really that accurate, but it looks pretty, so I will go with it. Yeah, it gives the cat vibes. Yeah. Yeah, I will stick with it, although they are very close together. So I need to change that, actually. Let's move it over, like, that much? And then... Oops. What? Ah, there we go. What? Yeah, that looks even more cat-like, because the eyes are further apart. Like a cat's. Okay, figured out the eyes. Hey, Ben! What did you miss? I wrapped up the chibis, so now they look like this. Ah! So now they look like this. Dalek went to bed after we covered tracing, some line accuracy exercises, and, some, like, brush settings stuff. And now I'm kind of reworking my character design and hopefully actually doing a ref sheet this time. Since I've been putting that off for months. How you doing, Fen? What'd you get up to while you were gone? Ugh. And yes. But yeah, I wasn't, like, but yeah, I don't know. I was, like, going back and forth between streaming. I knew I should stream today, but I wasn't gonna do it. So shoutouts to Dalek for giving me the motivation to actually stream today. And I definitely should have been doing that all this week. when I was awake. LOL. Okay, so there's, for the most part, eyes. Now, I want to think about... what is it called? Hair! Hair. I'm okay. Grandma was freaking out on me today. She thinks you have sleep apnea. Gotcha. In like a acceptable because she's concerned about your health way, or like in a she was disrespecting you way, freak out? Question mark. Okay. Hair. Hair. How do hair? Yeah, I feel way better about that face, even if it doesn't. The former? Okay, good. Yeah, sleep apnea testing can be pretty stressful, which is really annoying, but hopefully it goes well. And yeah, sleep apnea can look a lot like narcolepsy, so, that's also a thing that I've come across in my own little health crisis. Like, obviously, everybody and their moms knows that I want to keep this, like, hair vibe, right? That I have in my little profile picture. But do I want it to... Let me think about this. Started going down some rabbit holes. I'll try some home things first before I go to the doctor. Sounds like a plan. Because, yeah, CPAP machines, which is what they're called in the US at least, which help people with sleep apnea breathe consistently at night so that they don't wake up, are expensive as balls and annoying to upkeep. So... I guess that what I keep kind of stressing myself out about is that I feel like there should be more detail to the hair. Like, I'm overly simplifying it and making it look clunky, but also then when I, like, kind of simulate the hairstyle in real life, there's really not that much to it, is there? Maybe the main thing is I keep kind of visualizing them as being, like, paralleled as a face, but probably should be thinking of them as coming further back, like curtain bangs. Maybe that'll help. That, or I could... No. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that and not have the flip... Not have the distinct flip up I had before. Even though that does kind of add to, like, the cartoony, quote-unquote, problem I thought I had before. But it's not really a problem, is the thing. Like, it's not really a problem. It looks fine. Positive note, maybe I can find a good solution for insomnia. Yeah. I do want to keep these hair wispies at least mostly the same. Yeah, I do want to keep these. I've decided. It's... No, maybe I don't. No, I do. No, I do. I guess it's then when I put that together with the bangs, I feel like the bangs don't work as well anymore for some reason. Even though it's probably not true. I do like the idea of pushing those in a little more, actually. Oh, thank you for alerting me to face cam. Maybe I want these to hang in closer to the face than they are, is part of the problem. Like, currently... Ah! I think it's just, See, and it's crazy, because normally I'm so, like, into designing hair. And then when it comes to my own character, I'm like, maybe I should... Let me look at my profile picture. Oh, that's the old ass. Do you like that? Does that look nice? What do y'all think of this? I think I like that. I think. Looks good? Yeah. It looked fine before, too. It's just, y'all know how I am. Okay, now's a longer part of the hair. Oh, wait, no, the tails. Like how it swoops. Sick. Yeah, I think I prefer this swoop to the other swoop. You know what I think the main difference is? In the original illustration, it didn't have two big hanging sections. It had, like in the profile picture I have, it was that there's two, like, white stripes going down that section of the hair. I think I should try to go with that instead of what I was trying to go for before, where, like, what's the word? Like, it has the two distinct, like, tails, almost, kind of hanging down. And instead have it fall more over the shoulder. Hang on, let me look up some references real quick. Although, a legitimate question I'm asking myself right now is, do I want to rig hair that's this long? Do I want to put myself through that? Do I really? Am I that much of a glutton for punishment? But then again, I like the two bits hanging in front. I haven't gotten to rig that yet, and I want to. Because I like it. It's fun. The physics look fun. So maybe I should probably just do it anyway. Maybe I should just make them simpler. You know? Make them, like, really simple. Yeah. Or have the final swoop happen in the other direction. No, I don't like that either. Hey, Demon! If you get commissioned to rig hair that long in the future, you get the practice. That's true. Yeah. Okay, I should commit to it then. You know, maybe part of the problem is I'm not making it thick enough. I think I've been worried about it looking too thick, but maybe I should just go full send and make it look thicker. Nope. Nope, that's not it. The thinner tails are definitely the correct call. How you doing, Aunt Demon? According to the tutorial, it says easier to rig long hair. Yeah, that's true. It depends on how you shade it and everything. Oh my god, guys, it's the Hollow Knight. Well, okay. Way back when I drew the original sketch is your favorite. Oof. Yeah, it'd be like that. Yeah. It is a very good shape. I don't know why, just something still feels off about it. And it's probably just me. But something about it just doesn't feel right to me. And I don't know what it is. Mandible hairs. I think that what I'm overanalyzing is like you know what? No, it looks good. It looks good. People like it. It's fine. Okay. The next thing is like I can't decide what to do with the rest of the hair, obviously. Because at first I had the, like, flares and stuff. But part of me... Because I've done a lot of bouncy hair, right, already. Part of me really likes the idea of just kind of doing straight, flowy hair. Because there will still be bounce in the bangs, you know? But also I don't want to, like, be boring. Like, I don't want to be boring, but also, like, hee, you know? Like, it could be cute, just having, like, straight, flowy hair that, you know, probably still flares out a good amount, but is maybe less, like, floaty. So I don't know. What do we think about having straighter hair for, like, the long portion? That's not boring at all? Okay, cool. So yeah, I think we're gonna go then with straighter hair for this portion. Kinda. So yeah, it didn't change a whole lot, but the changes matter to me. Because I am city. I don't know, it should still have some parts kinda... Oh, wait, you know what I could do? You know those, like, sometimes you see VTubers that have straight hair and it's really segmented? That could be fun. Where, like, it gets really separated at the bottom into, like, a bunch of individual strands. That could be fun. Thinking. I don't know. Something like that. I think I like that. It kind of reminds me of the, like, the top of the ears here. You know? Having those, like, longer, kind of like slices. You know? I think I like that a lot. Yeah! 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 We got it, we got it, we got it. Okay. Cool! Hell yeah! Okay, I feel much better about that. That looks more suited to me, I think. Yay! It's a miracle! I made decisions! Alright. Let's see, let me see what my D&D group has done so far. Let's see, we have, I'm waiting on Zeno and Hito on their replies. Okay. I have been streaming for 3 hours, so I think now's a good time for me to raid out, and then, I will at least be back. Well, I'll at least be back by Wednesday, but I'm gonna try my best to stream tomorrow. I'm going to make an earnest attempt to stream tomorrow instead of doing what I did today, where I sat there and I was like, I should stream, I should stream, I should stream, and it wasn't until somebody was like, can you help me with something, that I decided to actually stream. That or one of you could ask me another question tomorrow. But that's not, like, an expectation I have. That's a stupid bit. Let's see. Who else is streaming art? Or do I have social battery to raid right now? I could? Alright, Willow. Pop off. Great stream. Thank you. Okay, Willow, if you do, I will not reject that offer. Okay, let me... I don't know who I want to raid. Let's raid Allie. Allie recently raided us, so let's raid Allie back. I am gonna raid and run, because I'm hungry. But yeah, thanks so much, guys. This had a better, like, a bigger turnout than I thought it would, considering the time of day. So I'm really grateful for everybody that showed up and kept me company and gave me feedback and everything. You guys are the best. So I will see you hopefully tomorrow.